Hello, sir. I'm interested in setting up an account with Heinz Securities and Equities.
Well, that's good to hear, sir. Basically, what you can do with Heinz Securities and Equities is invest in real-life stocks, commodities, currencies, and, actually, I think that's it, with your Altis money. Basically, sir, in order to do this, though, I'm going to have to ask for a few security questions and answers just to keep people from stealing your money and for me to keep this in a uniform fashion. You know, we can't just have anyone investing. We need to have standards and we need to have passwords for every single customer to keep their money safe. So, sir, if you would do the following, if you could send me a 4-digit PIN number, your Steam ID number, a security question and answer, and your preferred commission type. Now, right now, we have two different commission types. You can either pay $2 per share, or you can choose to pay $7,500 per trade. This is for stocks, though. Futures and forex have different commission types. So, sir, if you could send me that info, preferably through text, I would appreciate that.
Will do.
And you can see Socio here, Donovan in this case, is sending me a PIN number. He's going to need this to buy and sell stocks, you see. His Steam ID number up in the top right there, that's going to be so I can check his player stats if he wants to take a loan out at any time. I'm going to need to know that. So I know he's a trustworthy person. And then the security question and answer is just in case he forgets his PIN number. And lastly, the commission type, which he will send me. That is going to be, that is how much he's going to be trading. That's how much it's going to cost for him to place a trade.
All the information.
All right, sir. Thank you for that. I'll punch that into my financial spreadsheet here. It keeps track of all of your positions when you do decide to take a trade. 1 second, sir. All right, so now what we can see here is Socio's given me all of the information I need for his account. You can see when you have your account, I have an Excel spreadsheet I punch everything into. On the far left, you see your username, PIN number, Steam ID number, security question and answer, and commission type. Over here, if I'm loaning you any money, it'll go in here. If you have any bonds, it'll go in here. And if you are betting on anything, because occasionally I'll host bets or lotteries, your tickets will be in here. Mr. Donovan, sir, is there anything in particular you would like to trade today? You know, I've got futures, I've got forex and equities. Anything sound particularly interesting, sir? You can just text me that too. That would probably be best, sir. But basically, folks, this is how one invests. Once you have the account set up, you can just, in this case, invest in futures, which is kind of like, it can be anything. It can be indexes, stock indexes. You can invest in currencies. You can invest in just regular stocks. And you can invest in commodities, too. So in this case, he's going to be, it's not working on the top right, but he's going to be buying one S&P 500 futures contract, and he's going to be shorting one palladium contract. The S&P 500 is an index, and palladium is a commodity that you can trade. For currencies, he wants to be buying 50,000 lots of the US dollar to Japanese yen contracts, so he's betting on the US dollar going up opposed to the Japanese yen going down. Lastly, I think he's got one more thing there.
All the information that I'd be interested in buying.
Yep. All right, sir, I appreciate that. I'll punch those in too here, and we can almost have your investments wrapped up here. So, lastly, he wants to invest in 1,000 shares in NVIDIA, and he wants to buy 500 shares of Apple. So, Socios decided to invest in the S&P 500 futures. He wanted to short one contract of palladium, and he wanted 50,000 contracts of the US dollar to Japanese yen forex exchange. He wanted 1,000 shares of NVIDIA and 500 shares of Apple. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to my symbols index sheet, and this sheet is directly linked to the market. So the market's not open at the moment, so these are all stocks. They're not changing too much because, as I said, the market's not open. But futures And Forex, especially if we go down to the Forex section, which is all the way down here, or maybe I missed it. Where's my Forex? Oh, there it is. You can see the prices change on a fairly regular. You can see prices moving a little bit if you look closely. You can see numbers changing. This is because this spreadsheet's linked directly to the market, so every second this thing updates with a new price. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the S&P 500 futures. Those are going to be down here at ES. We're going to go /ES, and I believe, what are we in here? We're in the ES U7. So this is the last price it was traded at, 2447, and the sell is K209. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to client positions, and I'm going to say the last price trade, the entry price here is 2447. Okay, because that's when Sociopathic got in. Now I'm going to say current price equals. I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to find the sell again. I lost it. There it is. And the sell is K209. So now I have, basically what happens now is I have linked the client positions to the sell in, sorry, I did that wrong. Equals, where is that? 2441. 2447. Okay. Yep. K209. And so now the current price changes every time the symbol index price changes. So this price is exactly what the S&P 500 is trading at right now. So now what we can see is every time the current price changes, it automatically calculates Sociopathic's total profit and loss on the S&P 500. And to calculate how much he has invested, what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the margin requirement for the S&P 500 times the times how many contracts he bought. There's a list of this on my Word document. I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest of this, and then I'll pause the video, and then I'll start it up again once the market opens, and you can see how much Sociopathic account is changing on the market open. So now we can see the market's open, and all of Sociopathic's positions are punched in. So you don't need to know this, but basically what I will do is, so for example, the S&P 500, every 0.25 cents it moves, you make or lose $12.50. So I just take 1 divided by 0.25. That's what the sell is. Basically, this is the tick size. So in this case, 1 divided by 0.25 is 4. For palladium, it's 1 divided by 0.05, which is 20. And USD JPY, the tick size is 0.001. So that would be 0.001 can fit into 1,000 times. You don't really need to know that, though. This Socio decided to buy NVIDIA on ×5 margin. So this is a feature I added because sometimes it's difficult to make money in things like, you could easily make more money doing runs than doing this. So I added the margin feature, and basically all this does is it multiplies everything in your profit and loss section by whatever margin you pick. You can only go up to ×5 margin, but it's just a nice feature that allows you to multiply your profits and your losses and make or potentially lose money faster. I can, if we switch it to say 2 or let's say 1, it'll divide his current profit by 5. But he's got on 5. So that's what the margin does. And this is just how much money you'll make or lose every time the price moves by the defined tick size. So every time the S&P 500 here, his S&P 500 investment moves 0.25, this defines how much money he'll make or lose. So in this case, it's $12.50 every time it moves 0.25. For palladium, every time it moves 0.05 cents, he'll make or lose $5. This is by far the most volatile position. With futures, the margin requirement per contract, the higher the margin requirement is, the more volatile and risky the future is. So this palladium is the riskiest thing that's currently available. That's yeah, you can make or lose $2,000 a day with in real life with that thing. It's a crazy market. Palladium is. Right now, he's also short. You can short stuff too. So when you take a short position on something, you'll make money when it goes down. This basically allows you. So now you can bet in any direction. So you can bet on the S&P 500 going up, or you can bet on it going down by simply taking a negative position on it. But at any rate, you can see how much he has invested. It's all added up here, and he's got 267.5K invested in. You can see his profit and loss is being automatically calculated every second. It refreshes to see what he's got. And that's probably the coolest thing about this is you can ask how much am I up or down, Heinz, and I can just glance at this and I can tell you instantly and give you an immediate update on how much profit or loss you have. And this is directly linked to the market through my trading program, so this is actually pretty much instant. This is directly linked to the stock exchange and the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and all of that. But I guess some other features I should show. You can see everyone. I'm not going to show you their names, but you can see everyone else's positions up here. These guys are kind of wrecking me. Yeah, I can't show you their account names and stuff because that would obviously give away security. That would raise security concerns, but you can see everyone else's positions up here. And over here, I have a section on the spreadsheet that just tells me this is how much, if all my clients sold their positions right now, this is how much I would make or lose. And if all my clients sold their positions right now, I'd currently lose 443K. And this one just tells me how much money I have invested with me currently. This one just tells me how many clients I have in Heinz Securities and Equities, and this is just some other info that I use to keep track of my commissions and transfer fees and all that stuff. That's about it, though. Now you get a gist of how all this works. You can see once again in the symbols index, everything here, for the most part, is moving and refreshing every second or so.